Hi, data analysis. Happy Monday. Welcome to Geometric Series. Before we do that, I hope you enjoyed an awesome weekend. Tremendous sunshine, beautiful weather for the beginning of May. We probably earned it. It's been pretty ugly, and it's going to be pretty ugly this upcoming week, it looks like. Hopefully you got outside. I went to the Mequon Nature Preserve and hiked with my family. So that was good. I wish you could share with me what you're doing. I guess you can, but yeah, it's probably just best to get your work done and then go on and do what you do. So geometric series, let's talk about geometric series. First of all, let's refresh ourselves on what a geometric series is. So a geometric series is when I have, let's go example one. When I have a list of numbers and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Or smaller and smaller and smaller, but right now we'll work with, just getting bigger. And there's a plus sign between them, not a comma. Plus sign becomes a series when there's a plus sign. So series means plus sign. So when add all those up, so the commas basically disappear. The commas were there when it was a sequence. Now it becomes a series. Geometric means I'm going to multiply by the same thing every time to get the next number. So as you can see, 5 times 2 is 10, times 2 is 20, times 2 is 40. So then we would say the R value is 2, multiplying by 2. You could just put these in your calculator, add them up, and you would be just fine. However, there is a much nicer way to do it. I'm going to grab my calculator because I'm going to need that. There's a much nicer way to do it, especially when we get really big numbers. Because this could go another 40 numbers, and I don't want to sit and put all those in my calculator. So here's your formula. To find the sum of a geometric series, GS for geometric series, we are going to take the first term, and we'll make a big parenthesis. We're going to go 1 minus the common ratio, we call that R, to the number of terms that we're going to add, divided by 1 minus R. Okay, that's the formula we're going to use. Now, just to check, let's make sure that we get this right. So if I'm just going to 5 plus 10 plus 20 plus 40 plus 80 plus 160, I know this is faster than the formula, but trust me, eventually we'll want the formula. So we should have an answer of 315 when we are all done using this formula. So I'll put that up in the corner there, and we'll remember that. So the sum of the geometric sequence, all right? And usually we just put a big sigma there for add them all up, sum, equals first term, I see a 5, big parenthesis, 1 minus the common ratio is 2, to the n power. The n is the number of terms up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms divided by 1 minus 2. All right. So we are going to find the sum. Here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go 5 times 1 minus 2 to the 6th. I need to know what 2 to the 6th is. So that's what I'll do first. 2 to the 6th. Hopefully you can see that. It is 64. So 1 minus 64 over 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So this is 5 times negative 63 over negative 1, which is 5 times 63. 5 times 63. 5 times 63. You know what? Let me try turning the lamp on. That should help us out a little bit. Whoa, that's much brighter. It should focus here in just a second. It helps on the calculator, but nothing else. 5 times 63 is 315. There we go. That's much better. Now you can see both of them. So as you can see, this formula does work, and it's going to work in the future when we have bigger things, much better. All right, so let me show you another one. So as example 1, let's do example 2 here. Let's go with a different style, 2, negative 6, 18, negative 54. And let's say I wanted to add those up using the formula. Again, I can just type them into my calculator. But if we're going to use the formula looks like this. The sum equals the first term. So I'm going to look up here so I can see that formula. First term is 2. Then I'm going to go 1 minus the common ratio. The common ratio is what I multiply by. So how do I go from 2 to negative 6? I'm going to multiply by negative 3. How do I go from negative 6 to 18? Well, I'm going to multiply by negative 3. So I'm going to keep multiplying by negative 3, and as you can see, these numbers are going to bounce back and forth because sometimes it's going to be a negative times a negative, sometimes it'll be a negative times a positive. So it's 1 minus common ratio of negative 3 to the 4th power, 4 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, over 1 minus negative 3, my common ratio. Okay. That's a little bit different. The common ratio here is negative 3 multiplied by negative 3. Each time I go to the next number is multiplied by negative 3. So let's do this with our formula, 2. And then this is going to be 1 minus negative 3 to the 4th power. Let's put that in our calculator. Negative 3 to the 4th, use decimals or your calculator. Negative 81. Negative 81, and that makes sense. It should be a negative number because negative 3 times negative 3. Oh, no, that does not make sense. Come back one more time, Mr. Manna. That was a goof. Negative 3, put parentheses around it, the 4th power, because 4 negatives should make a positive. That was my bad. This should be a positive 81. Sorry about that. Glad I caught it. Over 1 minus negative 3, which is just 1 plus 3. 2 times 1 minus 81 over 4. Okay, 2 times 1 minus 81 over 4. 2 times negative 80 over 4. 2 times negative 80 divided by 4 is negative 20. Those add up to negative 40. Those numbers will add up to negative 40. Again, I could check this out in the calculator. We'll do one next where you'll want to use the formula. 2 plus negative 6 plus 18 plus negative 54 happens to be negative 40. So it did work out perfectly. On our way to the next one. Let's do one that gets a little uglier. All right, so we're going to go example 3 here. We're going to go negative 8, negative 24, negative 72, negative 216, and we're going to add up 20 terms. Okay, 20 of those terms. This could be a very, very big number. Maybe let's back it up just a little bit. Let's add up 15 terms. Right, and I don't want to punch those in my calculator, so I'm just going to use the formula. Formula says the sum is the first term, negative 8, times 1 minus the common ratio. So to go from negative 8 to negative 24, well, if you don't know how to find the common ratio, like it's really going to be multiplied by 3, what you can do is take negative 24 divided by negative 8, and that'll give you your common ratio. You could do it here too. You could do negative 72 divided by negative 24. That'll give you a common ratio. So the common ratio is going to be 3 to get to the next one. So 1 minus 3 to the 15th power, because there's 15 of those numbers we're going to add up. All right. Plus, when you type those all in the calculator again and again and again, you're usually going to make a mistake. This way, we shouldn't make a mistake. All right. So 1 minus 3 to the 15th power is a very big number. That's the number that's going to go on my numerator. So I have here negative 8 times, move that out of the way so I can write. My numerator is negative 143.48906 divided by negative 2. Okay, so I'm going to take that number, divide by negative 2, and then I'm going to multiply it by negative 8. Oops, multiply it by negative 8. And that should give me the sum of those 15 digits. Negative 5739564. So negative 57,395,624 is the sum of those 15 terms. Okay, I could type them in 15 times. Don't want to do that. Use a formula, especially when you got to add up like 50 of them or something like that. Let's do one more example. All right. Actually, I think I have 2 more for you. What if an example looks like this? So we'll call this example 4. Let's do from 1 to 10 of 3 to the x minus 1 power. What if it looked like this? And you had to add up those 10 terms. Same formula, do it exactly the same way. First term, I need the first term. I'm going to write down the formula. First term times 1 minus r to the number of terms over 1 minus r. First term. Well, to get my first term, I'm going to take a 1, put it right up in there. That'll be my first term. 3 to the 1 minus 1, it's 3 to the 0. 3 to the 0 is 1. So anything with 0 power is 1. My first term is 1. That's nice. I don't even have to write that if I didn't want to. 1 minus common ratio. The common ratio is always the base of this exponent. So this is your common ratio, 3 to the 10th. It says 10 terms. That's my total number of terms is 10 over 1 minus 3. And this should solve it for me. When I multiply by 1, that number doesn't matter to me at all whatsoever. I'm just going to type this into my calculator. 1 minus 3 to the 10th. And then I'm going to divide that by negative 2. Because 1 minus 3 is negative 2. That equals 29524. So if you ever see a problem that looks a little funny with this sigma thing, don't worry. Same problem, same formula, I mean. Just plug in what you know. Let's do one more of that type so you are ready. Let's go the sum of, let's go k equals 3 to 8 of, let's do 4 times 3 to the k minus 1 power. Does not matter which letter I use in there. I can use x, k, z, put a name in there, I can put Derek in there. It does not matter. It'll be the same formula. Let's work through the same formula. First term. Now the first term I'm using is when I take this 3 and I put it in here, just like I did on the last problem. Grab this 3, put it in there, first term. So I'll put a 3 in there. Let's see what happens. 3 minus 1 is 2, all right? 3 squared is 9. 9 times 4 is 36. I'm going to write that down here. 4 times 3 to the 3 minus 1 is 4 times 3 squared. 4 times 9, 36. So my first term is 36. I'm using the formula. 1 minus r. R will always be the base on the power. All right, so whatever this power is, that base will be my r value to the number of terms. Now, how many terms are we adding up? Let's see. I got to count from 3 to 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually adding up 6 terms. One more time. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 6 terms there. If you want an easier way to find that 6, all you got to do is go 8 minus 3 plus 1. If you want a quick and easy way, 8 minus 3 is 5 plus 1, divided by 1 minus 3 using our formula. And now we're going to punch that all into our calculator. I could probably do this all at once. 1 minus 3 to the 6th divided by 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Or I could go divided by 1 minus 3. Doesn't matter. And I'll multiply that number by 36. First term. And I get 13104. When you are solving these problems, make sure you show your work. Show the numbers plugged in. I will give you the answer key. Just make sure you show your work. Okay, have a great Monday. I'll talk to you soon.